Hello, it's time for our weekly fun art lesson. Last time we did a rainbow. This time I thought we would do a different kind of rainbow. We're going to do melting rainbows that are using color, but then also have intermittent black and white pattern to break it up and make it more bold. This is based on I didn't come up with this lesson. Someone else did, and it's based on a famous artist's work, well, a working artist's work. I think her name is Jenny Stark. I don't remember who adjusted this to be a lesson. I'm sure I saw it on Pinterest or something. I couldn't find the name of the person, otherwise I'd give them credit. But once you do this, well, if you're like me, once you do this, you will be addicted to doing this because you can build them and combine them and make a total, like a wall hanging. You can cover your wall with a melting rainbow. So if you look here, I've got all of these that I have been doing like a crazy person. So the fun thing is you have to work from the bottom and the underneath up. So first I'm gonna kind of show you how to arrange these, and then we'll go back, take a step back, and I'll show you how to make them. But once you have them, you can kind of arrange them and build. You could tape them on your wall, or you could tape them to a big piece of paper, but it is super fun to like construct these. So you could go crazy doing these. They're so much fun. Anyway, so let's take it back a step and I'll show you how to do it. Here's what you're going to need. A piece of paper. The best paper is something a little more heavy duty like cardstock, but use what you have. I don't even know what this is. Maybe it's some drawing paper. It's just something a little heavier than copy paper. But if copy paper is all you have, use it. Black marker. I like to use a Sharpie and then just my Crayola markers. You could easily do this with crayons or whatever kind of marker you have. And a scissors. And that's it. You can have hours of fun. So the very first thing I do is I make my first row of drips. And you can do it landscape orientation, that's where it's longer horizontally, or you can do portrait orientation. So I'm going to do portrait orientation where it's up and down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a curvy line. And then I can even go through and make a couple of curvy lines. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Or you can just do it with color too. And I'm gonna get the colors that I want. This gets to be the really fun part because your colors can, there's several different kinds of green that you can combine. Green, blue, and aqua. You don't even necessarily need the whole rainbow. Maybe you just do one that goes from green to purple. And you get a light purple and dark purple. Maybe that's what I'll do. That looks like fun to me. So here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color in my beginning color, a dark green. And maybe you don't even need the black part for this. You can just use your marker to separate these color swatches. Maybe you only need your black marker for the pattern part. Okay, so then I'm going to do my bluish green. And these lines are going to be they're going to swoop differently than my green line did. So I'm not just going to do concentric swoops. I'm going to change it up a little bit. And that's what's going to give me different, just different things to tuck my dark pattern in between. Fill it in, fill it in, fill it in, fill it in. All right, now I'm ready for my, oh, am I gonna go lighter or darker? I'll go dark blue. Okay, again, I'm not gonna follow the swoops exactly. Maybe I'm gonna have some smaller, ooh. Fill that in. Yeah, I wish I would have put that initial black line. I kind of like it just color next to color. But you'll find the thing that works best for you. All right. Now I'm going to move on to my light blue. So I'm going to pay attention to where my swoops are and think about they don't even have to go all the way across. There's so many different ways to vary this and to, you know, if it's not always moving in the same direction or swooping in the same way, that's when you get kind of something exciting and a little more unpredictable. All right. And now I can move on to my lavender. So maybe my lavender will start here and go like that. So I'm moving quickly so that I can, you know, show you how to do this in kind of a reasonable amount of time, but you can take your time and really get some of these little white bits taken care of. Or not. Once you have this all kind of put together, you don't really notice those parts anyway. All right. Now I'm going to move on to some black pattern. And these can, again, be you can have swoops within inside of swoops. You can have swoops and lines. There's so many different ways you can do this. Just have fun with it. So maybe I'll just do a clump of swoops right here. And then maybe I'll do another little swoop inside of there. So see how I'm just building? They're all just the same arc shapes, but I'm just building off of each other, you know? Then I like to have my dark layer right up close to the color so it really pops out. But you can decide if you have a light color for high contrast, you could put your dark color right next to it. But if you had a dark color up there, maybe you would want to have your first black and white swoop be white. It's all about the contrast, baby. And maybe I'll come down here. I'll come down and see, I'm gonna have a problem because these two are next to each other, so they're gonna merge, but I think problem is maybe not the right word. It's not too much of a problem. Let's see if I come up here. And then here. So this is kind of an empty white one, so what I might do is just put a thicker black down here just to make that line a little heavier. All right, so let's continue on with my color now. I'm gonna move on to purple. I'm gonna carry on the purple, I guess. So maybe I'll come here, 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 and I'll swoop way up. There literally is no wrong way to do this. And if you do something and it's a disaster, oh well, just get another piece of paper, try again. And sometimes even the disaster ones, once you get them all, once you put a whole bunch together, you don't even notice what was a disaster. Okay, it looks like I'm ready for some sort of red. Now I could go traditional red, or I thought I saw kind of a pinky red in there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this as kind of like in between purple and red. So I'm gonna do some of this. And maybe I'll bring this up here. Whoosh. This can even tuck under. Maybe this comes up here too on this side. Like it's behind this. Oops. Okay. I'm gonna get a red swoop in here. My markers are going everywhere. Maybe this one will tuck behind this pink one. Or not, maybe it'll come down. I think it needs to hang a little more. See, I don't like that. All these big swoops at the end are all kind of the same. I'm gonna see if I can break that up with my next layer. So now I can come in with some more black maybe to break this up. Something a little smaller. Maybe something like that. And if you don't like a Sharpie, or if you don't have a Sharpie, you can just use a black Crayola. That'll do the same thing. These ones are almost more like fish scales. And maybe you'll think of something even a little more different to do with these. You know, you could just use lines to go in between and to create more pattern too. Like this is a big white space and it's right next to this white one, but that's black and that's black. So if I color them all, it will just be like one big black blob. So maybe for this one, I break it up a little bit more, and then I can, it won't be quite so much of a big white space. There we go. There's another one. I'm going to do that down here too because I like how that looks. Okay, this is also a chance to have fun with rainbow order. How many of you kids and adults know the order of a rainbow? It's funny because you think you do, but then your very own children will tell you that you're wrong and that you don't know anything. I thought it started with red, but it turns out my kids say that it starts with purple. I personally, I don't think it matters that, or maybe I thought it, well, I don't think it matters. As long as it goes in the consecutive order, I think it will feel beautiful. So, red, next comes orange. Let me use this orange. And now I'm getting down to the bottom of my paper here, so I'm probably going to have to call it quits here pretty soon. But see how instead of getting stuck in my rut of a few of all these big bumps being at the end here, now I've broken it up a little bit. I think I have just enough room to get a little yellow in there somewhere. And finish off my rainbow order. Okay, yellow. I'm not going to have too much room down there, but I think I can fit it right here. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. Uh-oh, I just re-got that big bump in there, dang it. Oh well. Okay, now all you have to do is cut it out. And really you just have to cut out down here. So in my next one, I might get like these black and white really contrast the color so nicely that I kind of wish I had another little cluster of those up here. So guess what? The next one I make, I can do that. And I like to cut it right, even overlap the edge a little bit so that I don't have a white outline around my what are they? Drips? Melts? Oh, here I just said it and then I got too much white. Although if you get some white around there, you can just take your marker and color it in too. There's always some sort of a solution to any art problem you might have. Oops. Little nooks and crannies there. All right. Now you can start building them up. Look at how nice they look once you get them all together. You can put them in your window. Decorate the world. Oh, here I broke up that swoop. Oh, that's pretty cool. Anyway, have fun with that. Put them in your window. Have your wall just be a melting rainbow. How pretty would that be? But take a picture. Have your parent take a picture. Send it to me. Show me. I'd love to see it. And I'll see you next week.